Hello students, welcome once again to Akshar online classes. So, I am your chemistry faculty, S. Mohan. Today we are going to discuss about the fifth topic and simultaneously, sorry students, we completed fifth only. So, we are going to discuss about the sixth and seventh together. Chalo. So students, here in the last class we discussed about the cations and anions, and today in the synopsis 6 we are going to discuss how to write the chemical formula of the compound, and if the compound is given, if the formula is given, how to name it. Two things. If name is given, how to write the formula. If formula is given, how to write the name. Clear? So this today we are going to discuss. Right. So if you have a textbook, open the page number 47 and 48. So in the 48, let's see here. Here in this we are going to discuss how to write the formula. Okay. So here formula. Writing the formula of a compound by crisscross method. Okay. Writing formula of a compound by crisscross method by knowing the valency. So see students, in the previous class, in the last class, we discussed last three classes, we discussed about the cations and anions. Cations means what? Positively charged ions. So how they attain the positive charge? By losing one or two electrons, one or more electrons. Anions are what? Negatively charged, which are becomes by gaining the electrons. And we also discuss the valences of that. Okay. So today, now let us see how to write the formula of a compound. For example, if I want to write the formula of aluminium sulfate. So see students here, aluminium sulfate. Aluminium sulfate. So how to write? Listen carefully here. Aluminium. First you need to write the symbol of aluminium. What is the symbol of aluminium? Good. Al. Right? Sulfate. What is the formula of sulfate? Very good. SO4. Right? What is the valency of aluminium? Or in the cations, once you can check. Just refer the page. So you'll get aluminium is +3. Right? And sulfate, that is what? -2. Okay. So now we are using the method called crisscross. Which method we are using? Crisscross. Okay. So crisscross. So now what we do? Now when you are writing, see here, aluminium. Okay. And there, crisscross means what? The valency of this sulfate we are going to write for aluminium, and valency of aluminium we are going to write for sulfate. But you need not to write the signs, means positive and negative, plus and minus symbols you need not to write. So now your -2 is there, leave the minus, so just write 2, right? And this is sulfate is SO4 and write 3, but your already number is there, so put the bracket like this and write the 3. So 3 is the valency of aluminium that we are writing for sulfate, and 2 is the valency of sulfate that we are writing for the aluminium. So just crisscross. Okay. So this is the formula of aluminium sulfate. Clear to you? Okay. Now let's see the calcium chloride. I want to write the formula of calcium chloride. Right? Calcium chloride. So see now. Calcium chloride. You try this one. Calcium chloride. So first one is always a cation. First one is what? Cation. Means what? Positively charged. So your calcium symbol is a Ca. Right? And its valency is 2. So I am writing it +2 because it's a metal. And a chloride means what? I'll write chlorine. And its valency is 1, -1 because it's a non-metal. Now what I should do? I should crisscross. So bring the valency of chlorine to calcium and bring the valency of calcium to chlorine. So this becomes Ca1. and this Cl you're writing 2. So 1 if it is there you need not to write. So just write CaCl2. That's all. So this is a formula of calcium chloride. Easy, no? How to write the formulas? Okay, by the crisscross method. Now some example you can see here. I want to write the formula of sodium carbonate. For example, I want to write the formula of sodium carbonate. Sodium carbonate. Right. So sodium symbol is what? Na. And carbonate is what? CO3. Sodium valency +1. Carbonate valency -2. Then what we need to do? Crisscross. 2 bring here, 1 you take there. So this becomes Na. But after -2 only you need to write only 2. Need not write the symbols. And carbonate CO3. If 1 is there, you need not to write. So the formula is sodium carbonate is what? Na2CO3. Clear? And an extra, for example, I would like to write magnesium phosphate. Okay. Now let us see a magnesium phosphate. Right. So first magnesium, what is the symbol of magnesium? Magnesium is Mg symbol. What is its valency? +2. Phosphate, what is the phosphate formula? PO4. What is its valency? -3. Then what we need to do now? Crisscross. Bring 3 here and 2 there. So Mg, 3 is coming here. PO4, this 2 is coming there. So put bracket and write 2 here. So magnesium phosphate formula is what? Mg3PO4 taken twice. Clear? Any doubt? So I will give 3 formulas now. You write now. If you are written, if you are perfect, then I'll go for the next topic. So aluminum oxide. Next potassium nitrate. Next beryllium chloride, fluoride. Okay, I'll write fluoride. Chalo students, now we write the formulas of these 3. Okay, you understand how to write here. So based on that you write now. Start writing now. I'll give 1 minute time to you. After the 1 minute, I'll write this one, this one, this one. Okay? So within 1 minute, you try to write it. Finished? So see here, aluminium. Aluminium symbol is what? Al. Already written here, you see here. And its valence is what? +3. And then oxide means oxygen. Valence is -2. So just crisscross. So Al2O3. That's all. Very simple, no? Now then you see potassium nitrate. Potassium is what? K. Nitrate is what? NO3. What's the valency of potassium? +1. What's the valency of nitrate? -1. Both are 1, cancel. So directly write KNO3. That's all. This is a potassium nitrate. Clear? Beryllium fluoride. Beryllium Be. And fluoride means fluorine. Beryllium valency +2. Fluorine valency -1. Crisscross. So beryllium 1. F2. You need not write 1. So BeF2. That's all. Okay. So BeF2. Beryllium fluoride. Clear? So like this, you have to write the formulas for a compounds. Okay. So to write the formulas, first you should learn the cations and anions, which we already discussed in the synopsis 4 and the synopsis 5. There are so many cations out there with valency 1, with valency 2, valency 3, valency 4. Similarly, anions also, so many anions out there with valency 1, valency 2, valency 3, valency 4. Now, this all you have to learn when they ask you to write the formula. So just you have to take those both cation and anion, you have to mix with it and crisscross the valences, write the formula. So this is a way of writing the formula of compounds. Okay. So this is our sixth synopsis, just 2 pages, right? Now let's go to the seventh one. Seventh one is exactly opposite to this one. Here what we are doing here, name is given, we are writing the formula. If formula is given, how to give the name? Yes, so here now what you are giving us here, aluminum sulfate I give the name, and by taking the name we return the formula here. Similarly, calcium chloride is given, and by taking the formula we are writing the by taking the name we are writing the formulas. So sodium carbonate name, we return the formula. Magnesium phosphate name, return the formula. So names were given and we practice means return the formulas here. Okay. Now exactly opposite to this one. If formula is given, how to give the name? Clear? So this we are going to discuss. Now for this, once you open the page number 54, 55. If you have a material, open the page number 54 and 55, students. Now, naming chemical compounds. Our topic is what? Naming chemical compounds. Okay, students. Now see here, naming chemical compounds. Here writing formula is very easy. Writing formula is very easy. So what we are doing? We are taking the element, for example calcium oxide. So we are taking the calcium, Ca, oxide, oxygen, writing their balances, crisscrossing over. That is a way of writing the formula. Formula is writing is very easy. But now naming the chemical compound means what? The formula is given to you and you have to name it. Yes or no? So this is also easy, I think, no? Let's check. Okay. For example, I'll give the compounds. One is a CO, second one is a CO2. Now try the name of this one, CO and CO2. Yeah, this you can give. CO2 means what? Carbon dioxide. CO is what? Carbon monoxide. Very good. Okay. So here, now let us see similarly the different chemical, how to name the compounds. See students here, when you are writing, the name, when you want to give the name of the chemical compound, you have to see some factors. Okay, some factors you have to check. For example, first rule 1. Okay, rule 1, what it says is check whether the compound, one name is given, formula is given, and that formula, what elements are there. Okay, for example, that formula consists of metal and non-metal. Metal and non-metal, then how to give the name. Okay. And in that also metal and non-metal are there. And example you think that is a binary compound. Binary means what? Only 2 elements are there. That is one metal, one non-metal. Only 2 are there. Then how to give the name? So very simple, student. For example, you say here NaCl, MgO, CaF2, Al, okay, now let's see how to give the name for this one. Okay, one more also I'll write like okay, this let's see. Okay, highlight one more also, Mg3N2. Okay, so like this, formulas are given to you. formulas are given to you, and they ask you to write the name. They ask you to write the name. Now, if you observe this one, all these compounds are made up of metals and nonmetals. All these metals are made up of what? Metals and nonmetals. So, sodium, metal, magnesium, metal, calcium, metal, magnesium again, metal. So, these all are metals. Right? Now, this side you see chlorine, non-metal, oxygen, non-metal, fluorine, non-metal, nitrogen, non-metal. These are the non-metals. Right? Whenever you want to give the name to these compounds, so your first elements are what? Metals. Write the complete name of the metal there. Write the complete name of the metal as it is. So, Na is a symbol of what? Sodium. So, write the name of that metal completely. That is sodium. So, write sodium. No problem. Now, come to the here second one. Second one is what? Chlorine is there. What is there? Chlorine. But here, whenever you want to write the name of the compound, if the second element is gas, non-metal, then add the suffix "ide", means what? That should end with the "ide". The name should be end with the "ide", I-D-E. Name should be end with what? "Ide", I-D-E. So, here it is chlorine. Chlorine, right? So, here don't write chlorine. Just you remove an E and write, already I is there, De. Okay? So, sodium chloride. That's all. Easy, no? Very simple. Okay. Now, the second one. Second one is MgO. In that first one is what? The first element is what? Magnesium. Magnesium is metal. So, you have to write the full name of this one. So, no need to change anything. So, write magnesium as it is. But next is what? Oxygen. Right? So, oxygen. But what I said, if it is ending with non-metal, you should write end with the "ide". But here what is there? Oxygen. So, here remove these letters and write I-D-E. I-D-E. Ide. Now, the name of this becomes magnesium oxide. Clear? Now, see your second one, third one. Calcium here. So, CM is what? Calcium. So, calcium, this is a metal. Write the full name here. Don't change anything. Calcium. Now, here Fe stands for what? Fluorine. F stands for what? Fluorine. So, fluorine, F-L-U-O-R-I-N-A, fluorine. But what I said, it should end with what? Ide, I-D. So, remove that last two letters and write D. So, fluoride. So, this is a calcium fluoride. Clear? Chalo. Now, last one you see now. Last one. Here, Mg. Mg stands for this is a metal. So, write Mg stands for magnesium. So, write as it is magnesium. And N means what? Nitrogen. N means what? Nitrogen. Right? So, but don't write nitrogen because it should end with ide when you are giving the name. So, here this all you remove and write here ide. So, what is the name of this one now? Magnesium nitride. Is this clear? So, like this, whenever you are writing one name of the compound, if that consists of metal and non-metal, then you have to write the metal name as it is. One important thing, here that should end with ide, right? Now you see here only one chlorine is there, ide. One oxygen is there, ide. Two fluorines are there, ide. Two nitrogens are there, ide. So whatever the number it may be, whatever it may be, don't think about that number. Don't worry about the number. Okay. So whatever the number it may be, you write ide only. That's all. Is this clear? So you are not representing any numbers here. Okay. Only magnesium, what are elements are there? Magnesium, nitrogen, magnesium, nitrogen. You are not considering, not bothering about how many elements are there. Right? So this is the first condition for the rule 1. Is this clear to you? Any doubt? Similarly, you can try some other examples. Okay. Now let's come to the students rule 2. Okay. Rule 2. Rule 2 is slightly different from this one. Okay. So rule 2 gives about the here metals and non-metals you have taken no. Now here both the non-metals only. Non-metal and non-metal. Non-metal and non-metal. So two non-metals are there. Now what happens? Okay. Now here little care should be taken. So non-metal and non-metal some elements I am writing. So see here now. CO, CO2, SO2, SO3. Okay. So this I am taking. Right. So here if you see the first elements, carbon, non-metal, carbon, non-metal, sulfur, non-metal, sulfur, non-metal. Okay. First elements are non-metals. Let's see the second elements. Second element again see here, O, oxygen, oxygen, oxygen are non-metals only. Right. Now how to give the names to this one? Right. So now what we need to do, here as I told in this one, the first elements don't change anything about the first element. So first element is what here? Carbon. So write carbon as it is. Don't change its name. So write carbon only. Right. But now here oxygen is there. Okay. So here I said you that write just ide. So here also we write ide only. But how many oxygens are there? You have to represent that. Second element. Only for second element, how many elements are there? How many atoms are there? That you have to represent. So see students, here only one is there. Okay. So you have to remember that. If in the chemistry, this I think already told you, but once again, in the chemistry, if it is one, is called mono. What it's called? Mono. Can you see here? Second one is called di. 3 is called tri. 4 is called tetra. 5 is called penta. 6 is called hexa. 7 is called hept. 8 is called oct. Okay. And 9 is called dec. And 9 is called none. None. And 10 is called dec. These words you have to remember. Okay. So now when it comes to the non-metal and non-metal, the second non-metal, how many atoms are there? You have to represent. So here only one is there. So one is called what? Mono. One is called what here? Mono. And it should end with ide. So now what you write is carbon oxide. Okay, oxide. But here how many oxygens are there? You have to represent that. So one oxygen is there. One is called mono. So write here monoxide. That's all. The name. Clear to you? Okay. Now see here the name of this one. Okay. First element is carbon. So I am writing carbon. Next is what? Oxygen is there. So I have to write oxide. Oxide. But here how many oxygens are there? 2. 2 stands for what? Di. So just add di here. So name of this one is carbon dioxide. Clear? Now see here the third compound here. First one is what? S. S stands for sulfur. So write sulfur. Okay. And oxygen. Oxygen is what? Oxide. But how many oxygens are there here? 2. 2 stands for di. So the name of this one is sulfur dioxide. Clear? Now see here again sulfur. Okay. Oxygen. So oxide. But how many oxygens are there? 3. 3 stands for what? Tri. Trioxide. Is this clear to you? Any doubt? So first element name should not change. But for second element you have to write the ide only. But how many atoms are there? That number you have to represent. Clear? Now last and final one, you give the name to this one. I am writing PCl3 and PCl5. Come on. You say the names of this one. Fast, 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 fast. Little louder. I can't hear. More louder. First one PCl3. More louder. Good. So here P is what? Phosphorus. Okay. Cl for chlorine means, but you have to write a chloride. Right? How many chlorines are there? 3. So what do you write? Tri. 3 stands for what? Tri. So phosphorus trichloride. What is the name of this one? phosphorus trichloride. Clear? Now what's the name of this one? PCl5, F5. Come on, see what's the PCl5 formula? More louder. Very good. So that is phosphorus pentachloride. P stands for phosphorus. Okay. And Cl chlorine means what? You have to write chloride. End with ide only. But here how many chlorines are there? 5. 5 for penta. So what do you call it is now? Phosphorus pentachloride. Clear? Phosphorus pentachloride. So did you understand how to give the names? Right? So in this way you have to practice the names. Okay, how to give the names. So when the compound is given, immediately by seeing that you should give the name of that compound. Clear? Any doubt? Chalo. Now let's go to the next rule. So here you see, in these two rules you see, only two elements are there. Here sodium, chlorine, magnesium, oxygen, calcium, fluorine, magnesium, nitrogen, phosphorus, chlorine, sulfur, oxygen, carbon, oxygen. Only two elements are there. Okay. So these are called binary compounds. Now we are third rule. We are going to go to the third rule. So third rule for if three elements are there, then what we can give the name? So see students, here already we discussed like SO4 is called a sulfate. Okay, you know that. Sulfate. Where shall I write here? Okay. Here I am writing. Can you see here? Okay, sulfate. SO4. And nitrate. NO3. Carbonate. CO3. Phosphate. PO4. Say this we discussed already. Okay. So sulfate is SO4 in the compounds we discussed, no? In the cations and anions we discussed this all. Sulfate, SO4, nitrate, NO3, carbonate, CO3 and phosphate, PO4. Like this we discussed. Okay. So here whatever, if three compounds are there, three elements are there, any compound consists of three elements, then while giving the name, that should end with 8 normally. Normally it should end with 8. Okay. And again their conditions are there. Those conditions I'll explain you. Now listen here. For example, see here, I want to write the name of CuSO4. I want to write the name of what? CuSO4. Right. So Cu, you know that Cu stands for copper. So I'm writing copper. Right. Now the middle element you see here, middle element is what? Sulfur. So don't write sulfur. So just sulfur you write. Okay. And then ending with O4, oxygen. So then you have to add a suffix 8. What should add? Suffix 8. Clear? That's all. So that is a copper sulfate. Is this clear? Now, for example, CaCO3 I want to give the name. I will give okay, Na2 will give. Na2. Anything, no problem. Na2. Na2CO3. So here Na. First element is metal. You need not to change anything. So just write sodium. Na is a symbol of water. Sodium. Now what is there? Carbon. So write carbon. Okay. And last what is there? Oxygen. Oxygen is ending with the oxygen. Then you write the 8. So 8. Now what is the name of this Na2CO3? Sodium carbonate. Clear? Now, for example, nitrate we take KNO3. KNO3. Here K is what? Potassium. Right, as it is. Don't shortcut anything. As it is, you have to write the first letter. Next, what is what? NO3. Okay, N is what? Nitrogen. So nitrogen. Okay, so just nitro you write and O3 is there. So that should end with what? 8, 8. So it should end with 8. So name of this one is what? Potassium nitrate. Is this clear to you? Potassium nitrate. So like this, you have to write the names if it is consist of 3 elements. Okay. Here how many elements of the 3? See here. Copper, sulfur, oxygen. 3. Here sodium, carbon, oxygen. Here potassium, nitrogen, oxygen. So total how many elements are there? 3 elements are there. In that 3 elements and they are ending with what? Oxygen only. They are ending with what? Oxygen. So then you write 8 there. Clear to you? So that should end with 8. Right. Now, very important point I am going to explain you. Now see here. For example, if I have, okay, yes, CuSO4 is there. CuSO4 is there. For example, if I have CuSO3, okay, if I have CuSO3, then what can I write? CuSO3. Now what can I write? So copper. Cu means what? Copper. Yes, sulfur. So sulf. Okay. And if it is ending with oxygen, I said you to write 8. Can you write 8 here? No. Because if I write sulfate here, this also sulfate. Copper sulfate, how it is possible? CuSO4 is there, CuSO3 is there. It's not possible, right? So now you have to check how many oxygens are there. How many oxygens are there? So here 3 are there. Here it is 4 oxygens are there. Only oxygen you see. Here 4 oxygens are there. Here 3 oxygens are there. So here 1 electron short than this one. 1 electron less the sulfate. Okay. So whenever one compound's number of oxygen is less than 8, means the sulfate is there. So 8. Okay, sulfate is O4. Here O3 is there. 1 oxygen less than 8. Then you have to write that as ite. What you should write? Ite. They are ending with what? These are ending with what? 8. So see that. Here this is copper sulfate. 8. 4 oxygens are there. But here for 8 is 4. But here 1 oxygen is less than 8. When it is 1 less than is there, you just write ite. So now same name you write copper sulfate. Instead of 8 you write ite. So this becomes sulfide. Ite. Because 1 oxygen is less. Clear to you? Okay. Now sodium carbonate leave it. Okay, now let's come to the nitrate. Potassium nitrate is it? KNO3. Okay. Here I will write KNO2. Okay. So now KNO3 formula is what? 8. In 8, how many are there? Nitrate. How many oxygens are there? 3. But here, how many oxygens are there? 2. So 1 oxygen less than potassium nitrate. When 1 oxygen is less than, then that should write what? Ite. That should end with what? Ite. So here potassium nitrate, same name you write. Potassium. Okay. Nitrate is there, but it should end with what? Ite, because one number is less. So just you replace this A with I. So this becomes what? Nitrite. Is this clear to you? Any doubt in this one? No. Okay. Now for example, KClO3 we take. Okay. So now say what's the name of this one? Here K. K is what? Potassium. Sorry. Potassium. Okay, potassium. And here it is what? ClO3 is called a chlorate. What is called? Chlorate. Now, if the formula is like KClO2, then what is the name for this one? Here KClO3, here KClO2. KClO3 formula is potassium chlorate. Now I want KClO2 because just 1 oxygen is less. Come on students, tell fast. Little louder. What happened? So the same name, 1 oxygen only less. same name, but that should end with ite. So this is called potassium chloride. Clear? Chloride. Any doubt? No, no. Chalo. Now last and one point I'll explain you. One point I'll explain you. Now this is chlorate 8. So one oxygen is less. Then we write ite. Yes, 8. One oxygen is less. This becomes ite. For example, if there is a compound you think one oxygen less than ite. One oxygen less than ite. Means for example KClO. O only is there. Okay, only O is there. KClO3, potassium chlorate. So here one oxygen is reduced here from O3 to O2. Then we are given what? Ite is given. 8 is changed to ite. Imagine, now from the ite also one oxygen is removed, one more oxygen is less. Then what can you do? So yes students, very simple. So potassium, okay, write the chlorate only, but just add hypo. What do you write? Hypo. Hypo you add. If one oxygen is less than the chlorite, first chlorate. If one oxygen is less than the chlorate, then write chloride. If one oxygen is less than the chlorite also, then write hypo. Okay. So in this way we can now practice this writing name of the compounds. So today we discussed two topics. One is if the name is given, compound name is given, how to write the formulas. If the formulas is given, how to give the names. Okay. So students, you practice with this. We stop today. Okay. Bye.